Hey, if you want to show your love for the 7 Deadly Sins and support this channel at the same time, check out our brand new online store. We have original designs like this Escanor Praise the Sun shirt created by pro artist Kuzomari. You can't find these designs anywhere else, so check us out at AnimeUproar.com, link in the description. Fans of the channel can now use a special discount code UPROAR25 at checkout to receive an instant 25% off. What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and because so many of you wonderful ladies and gentlemen requested it, in this video I will be talking about the 7 Deadly Sins Prisoners of the Sky, which has finally been released outside of Japan through Netflix. As a massive fan of the 7 Deadly Sins, I definitely enjoyed Prisoners of the Sky. It gave us a chance to see all 7 sins, Elizabeth and Hawk, interacting with each other in their usual hilarious style. And best of all, we also got to see Hawk's mama in action once again. Spoiler alert, Hawk's mama is definitely best girl in this one. As usual, if you enjoy these types of videos, you want to see more, you can leave a like to let me know. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now, aside from the classic 7 Deadly Sins comedy and action, including Meliodas failing at cooking once again and Escanor puking on everybody, this new story also gave us some major reveals about the world of the 7 Deadly Sins. We met new demons, new goddesses, and we learned some very interesting things about the Holy War, about Merlin, and of course about Hawk's mama. But the big question on all of our minds right now is this. Is this story part of the official 7 Deadly Sins timeline? Is it canon? If it is, then all of these crazy reveals are all the more interesting because they may play a major role in the future of the main story. So, what's the consensus? Is it canon? Well, actually, there is an argument to be made both ways. On the non-canon side, there is the fact that this story was not directly tied in with the main story, and the fact that the timeline seems a bit off. For instance, Escanor is seen hanging out with the rest of the Sins as they prepare to attend King Bartra's birthday party, and the 10 Commandments are nowhere to be found. But we know that Escanor was introduced into the main story after the 10 Commandments were already released from the Coffin of Eternal Darkness. So, why would the Sins just be casually hanging out and having birthday parties when the 10 Commandments are out there causing havoc and consuming innocent souls? But on the bright side, this new story is closely linked to the 7 Deadly Sins manga. In fact, it was deliberately foreshadowed in the official manga. In chapter 203 of the 7 Deadly Sins manga, the 6 Knights of Black, the main antagonists of the new story, were actually mentioned, and their strength was directly compared to the strength of the 10 Commandments. The Endura of Retribution that appears near the end of Prisoners of the Sky was also introduced in the manga. The name of this Endura is Baruha, and he was said to be an acquaintance of Galland. Finally, these new characters were created by the mangaka Nabaka Suzuki himself, not by some third party or studio. In the past, anime characters that appeared only in movies and were not connected to the main storyline did become canon later. So it is definitely possible that the events of Prisoners of the Sky will have some sort of impact on the main storyline. After all, if this new story was meant to be completely separate from the main story, why go through all the trouble of introducing characters from Prisoners of the Sky into the official manga, including of course the 6 Knights of Black and the Endura of Retribution? I mean, I'm already seeing a bunch of people commenting that of course this is completely separate, everyone who thinks that this will link back to the main storyline is an idiot, and so on. And if that's what you think, then that is fine with me, but we have to remember that they could have just kept this completely separate. The fact that they chose to introduce the characters in the manga is meaningful to me. Now let's get into the specifics of the movie. At the very beginning of Prisoners of the Sky, we are introduced to the Celestials, creatures who are descendants of the goddesses and live in the Sky Temple, which is a majestic village that floats high in the sky. As we learn from Solad, a celestial who came down to Earth to find a way to stop the coming attack by powerful demons, the Celestials falsely believed that the demons won the previous Holy War and that they wiped out all the other races on Earth. For some reason, they believe that the demons ruled the earth and everyone else has been eliminated, which is actually pretty noteworthy when you think about it. This means that there are entire civilizations out there who are completely detached from what's going on in Britannia, so who knows what we may learn about the world of the 7 deadly sins as the story continues. One thing that really stood out to me and was clearly done on purpose was the fact that Solad and his fiancée Elate look a lot like Meliodas and Elizabeth. They look so similar that even people who are closest to them cannot tell them apart at first glance, which again really makes you think. Why do these two couples look so much like each other? We know that Elizabeth in her original body was a goddess, so she is the ancestor of the Celestials, but is there some other more direct connection between her, Meliodas, and Solad and Elate? The movie never actually explains this, but it's definitely one of those things that makes you wonder, will this be explained sometime in the future? I am very curious about it and I want to know what you guys think, so let me know down in the comments. Is there some family connection between Elizabeth and Elate? Is it just a huge coincidence, or is something else going on? Another very interesting moment occurs when Solad asks all the sins, minus Meliodas who is not present at the time, if they are members of the demon clan. Merlin states that none of them are members of the demon clan. This is important because Merlin's true race has been the subject of intense debate for a very long time, and some believe that she is secretly a demon or at least part demon. However, here she says that Escanor is human, Ban is a former human, and she is, and I quote, well, something like that. So she tells us that she is definitely not a demon and that she is something like a human, but still leaves her exact race a mystery. Merlin's true race is honestly one of the most interesting unsolved mysteries in the 7 deadly sins for me personally. And I think I may have to make a video on it soon because I do have my own theory about Merlin's true race. Eventually we meet the 6 Knights of Black, who are the primary antagonists of the story. As the legend goes, 3,000 years ago during the previous Holy War, the 6 Knights of Black and other demons were fighting against other races in the Sky Temple. Just as it looked as if the demons were about to win and destroy everyone in the temple, a mythical shining white pig-like creature appeared and helped the goddess clan seal the demons within the Egg Rock, a giant stone structure. This white pig-like creature was called the Great Oshiro and is still revered by the Celestials. 3,000 years later, the seal of the Egg Rock breaks and the demons attack again, including of course the 6 Knights of Black. It is implied that before they were sealed away, the 6 Knights of Black were so violent that even the 10 Commandments struggled with them. And Belian, the leader of the 6 Knights of Black, claims that his skills have surpassed the 10 Commandments. At one point, Belian wanted to become one of the 10 Commandments, but Meliodas didn't allow him to join, and he still holds a grudge against Meliodas because of this. However, despite the comparisons to the 10 Commandments, it is pretty clear that none of the 6 Knights of Black can measure up to someone like Zeldris or Estarossa. And even Belian, who is the strongest, would only be at the level of Derriere or Mon Speed in my personal opinion. Anyway, this is what happens to the 6 Knights of Black. The Haka gets absolutely wrecked by Meliodas' full counter. Atra, also known as Atolla, gets tag-teamed by King and Gother. Ban basically hugs Pump to death, and Discount Escanor, also known as Darokio, gets absolutely pimp-slapped by Merlin and the real Escanor. Finally, Gara, the female demon, is taken out by Diane and King. The only one of the 6 Knights of Black that poses a more significant threat is the leader Belian, but even he gets taken out by Meliodas once Meliodas actually begins to use his full power. But before he dies, Belian sacrifices his own soul and the souls of the other Knights of Black in order to resurrect the Endura of Retribution, a massive and extremely powerful demonic beast. At this point, we get to see some excellent teamwork at play as everyone comes together to defeat the Endura. Hawk's mama swallows a blast from the Endura and sends it back at the monster in order to weaken it. Solad creates a massive arc with the help of the other Celestials and Elizabeth, and the arc seals the Endura in place. Finally, Meliodas uses an epic combo move that involves all of the sins. The other sins launch their full power attacks at Meliodas, he uses his clones to direct all of the attacks at himself, and then he full counters the massive attack into the Endura, destroying it in epic fashion. The attack is called the 7 Deadly Sins, and I have to say I really loved this moment. I loved seeing all the sins working together, and then calling the move the 7 deadly sins did kinda give me goosebumps, not gonna lie. But moving on, there are 2 more details that seem very important and may end up being relevant in the main story sometime in the future. The first is the winged sword, which we learn was created specifically to fight against the demon clan. It has the power to seriously wound even high-ranking demons like Meliodas and stop them from regenerating while the sword is still inside their body. And it also has the power to seal away high-ranked demons. One thing that I found fascinating is that not even Escanor in his day form could wield the sword. Only the head warrior of the Celestials could, which means that this sword has some extremely powerful magic attached to it. I'm really curious about this sword, and since in the main story we've already had several swords that have had hidden powers, including of course Dragon Handle and Excalibur, I wonder whether the winged sword will make an appearance in the main storyline as well. Finally, we have of course the Great Oshiro. The Great Oshiro is a giant shining white, pig-like creature that was believed to have saved the Sky Temple from the demons 3,000 years ago. And at this point we're all thinking, well, Hawk's mama is a giant pig-like creature with mysterious magical abilities, including of course the ability to swallow powerful attacks. However, Hawk's mama is green, so she can't be the Great Oshiro, right? Not right, because at the very end of the movie we see a small part of Hawk's mama's green skin or shell peel to reveal a shining white surface below, clearly implying that Hawk's mama is indeed the Great Oshiro. The winged sword is believed to have somehow been created by the Great Oshiro, and according to Merlin, the Great Oshiro is just another name for the Mother of Chaos. The Mother of Chaos is the creature who gave birth to all the monsters of the world, presumably including all creatures who are not part of the 5 main races and clans, including the vampires and the beastmen. The Mother of Chaos is said to have contained so much darkness that she was feared by the Demon Clan, while at the same time possessing so much light that she was revered by the Goddess Clan. Now, there will be some manga spoilers from this point on regarding Hawk, so if you haven't read the manga, proceed with caution. We know that Hawk is actually a creature that was born in Purgatory, and that he has a brother called Wild who remained in Purgatory and who helped Meliodas and Bond fight against the Demon King. Hawk appears to have been kidnapped by the Demon King and sent into the world of the 7 deadly sins as a way for the Demon King to spy on Meliodas through Hawk's eyes. At this point, we don't know if Hawk's mama is actually Hawk's birth mother. There is no conclusive evidence as of right now, but if Hawk's mama is the Mother of Chaos, then it is possible that she is the mother of all creatures from Purgatory, including Hawk and Wild. One piece of evidence that may support this is the fact that in Arthurian legend, there is a pig called Henwen or Old White, so a white pig just like the Great Oshiro. And in Arthurian legend, this pig gave birth to a monstrous cat creature called Cath Palug and other mysterious creatures. We know that Arthur's mysterious cat-like pet is also named Cath, and we know that Cath is a creature from Purgatory. And since we know how greatly inspired the 7 Deadly Sins story is by Arthurian legend, it isn't far-fetched to assume that if Cath is a creature from Purgatory and Hawk's mama is the Mother of Chaos who gave birth to all monsters, then just like in Arthurian legend, this great white pig could be the mother of Cath and of other creatures from Purgatory, including Hawk and Wild. Hawk's mama secretly being such a strong, legendary creature would explain why Merlin's tattoo looks so much like Hawk. It may actually be inspired by Hawk's mama and her legendary power. And of course, this revelation, if it turns out to be canon, could have major implications on the main storyline in the near future. I mean, the Mother of Chaos, one of the strongest legendary creatures, has been right here this whole time under our very noses. It's pretty crazy, and in fact, I'm considering making a full video on Hawk and Hawk's mama. Let me know if that's something you guys would want to see. So overall, in terms of Prisoners of the Sky, I really enjoyed it. It was a bit rushed at times, as most movies are, because they don't have nearly as much time as a full anime season. So because of that, the 6 Nights of Black seemed pretty underwhelming, and they were taken out by the 7 Deadly Sins fairly easily. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed seeing all of the sins working together and hanging out, along with of course Hawk, Elizabeth, and Hawk's mama. And if this story does turn out to be canon in any way, then we just got some major information about the world of the 7 Deadly Sins and its characters. The fact that the Celestials, direct descendants of the Goddess Clan, are still around in their own physical body is a major revelation. The fact that Hawk's mama is the mother of chaos is a huge revelation. And the stuff about the winged sword and Merlin definitely not being a demon but rather something like a human is extremely interesting as well. As always with the story of the 7 deadly sins, I can't wait to find out more, and please stay tuned to this channel because I will be covering all the important 7 deadly sins updates and revelations in the future. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the movie and about what's going to happen next in the story by following @AnimeUproar on Twitter and Instagram and hitting me up. If you enjoyed this video, you want to see more 7 Deadly Sins videos, you can leave a like to let me know. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want to support more content on this channel and get awesome merch at the same time, check out our online store, link in the description. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, thank you for all the requests for me to make this video, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!